Ronica. So in this video we'll be making single player Pong using Python using the pygame module. So this is basically the game. There's the paddle which I'm controlling using A or D or either the left and right arrow keys. And there's the ball, and if I touch the ball, the paddle touches the ball, the score gets rendered again. The score keeps gets updated. So now if I get out, I got out, I can press the restart button and it get restarted again. So that's very nice. So now that's done. Okay, so I have my folder open pingpong.pong in Python and have my file pingpong.py and have the restart button, which is the restart button. Okay, so let's get started. But let's get started by first importing pygame. So import pygame. Next thing, let's initialize pygame. So pygame.init that initialize pygame. Let's have a basic window setup. So win, it's the variable for window, and let's set that to pygame dot display dot set mode. And how much do I want the Windows dimensions to be? I wanted 800 by 800 pixels, so 800 in height and 800 in width. Okay, next thing, let's have a caption for the window. So pygame dot display dot set caption. Let's keep it Pong. Yeah, Pong. Okay, next thing, let's have the while true function for handling all the looping for the game. So while true, inside that a for event. So for event in pygame dot event dot get. So it'll get all the event in pygame dot event dot get. It's the function inside it, so I'll get all of them. And inside that I want the event type. So if statement inside that. So if event dot type is equal to pygame dot quit. So if I get the event type as pygame dot quit, well, I want to quit the pygame window. So pygame dot quit. Next thing, let's have pygame dot display dot update. So it'll automatically display the code for us, updating the code for us. Okay, oh wait, update. Nice. Now let's handle all the drawing for the game. So let's have a function. So let's have it def draw. It'll handle all the functions regarding the drawing of characters and all. And inside that I want the color of the window. So win.fill. While we are at it, let's have a variable for black. So black is equal to, so it's an RGB, which stands for red, green and blue. So the highest one being 255, 255, 255, which will get white. But if you want black, it's 0, 0, 0. So now I want to fill the entire window with black. So that's nice. Now let's add the FPS for the game so our system doesn't crash. Okay, so FPS is equal to pygame dot time dot clock. Okay, next thing, yeah, so now I want the FPS to tick at 60. So 60 FPS, 60 frames per second. Nice. Now if we run this, we should get a window open for us. Yeah, with the name Pong, and it's a black window. Nice. So now let's start by adding the little player, the paddle. Okay, so I want the player, so it'll be a rect. So player is equal to pygame dot rect, and I want it to be at 375 by, no wait, that'll be in the middle, right? So let's yeah, so 375 in the middle and 750. So 375 in the x-axis and 750 right over here. So right over here. So and what do I want the dimensions to be. So 150 on the x-axis and 10 on the y-axis, so like a long pattern. And let's draw it inside our this. Oh, but we forgot to get the function in the while true, so let's do that right now so we don't get any errors when we're running the code. And now let's draw the player inside the window. So to do that, we do, I think it's pygame.draw.rect. Yeah, so pygame.draw.rect. It takes up 3 arguments, basically what the surface is. So the surface will be the window. What color do I want it to be? So let's have white over here. And as I told you, the white is 255 by 255. So 255 by 255. And I want the color to be white over here. And what do I want to draw? I want to draw the player. Okay. Nice. I just run that. Yeah, we get a player over here. So that's nice. Now let's add the ball. It'll bounce around, then we can play with it. So that's the main purpose of Pong, the ball. And let's have the ball. So the ball will be a pygame rect again. Where do I want it to be at? I think at 385. Yeah, 385 by 385. What dimensions do I want the ball to have? 15 by 15. Okay, now let's draw the ball. So pygame.draw.rect. Again, where do I want to draw it? In the window. What color do I want it to have? White. What do I want to draw? Well, I want to draw the ball. If you run it code right now, you would get the ball as a square, but we want the ball to be as a circle, right? So instead of having pygame.draw.rect, we'll have to write pygame.draw.ellipse. So ELLIPSE, I think. Yes. Okay. Now if you run this, yeah, we get the ball over here. So if you had done it pygame.draw.rect, it would have been like a little square. So we didn't want that. Okay, that's nice. Now let's start with the player movement. So dev move. Yeah, dev move. And let's come down over here. I don't want the player to keep on spamming the arrow keys or the WA keys. I want the player to keep on, if the player presses, for example, the arrow key, it'll keep on going to the left hand side, for example. Okay, so now let's do that. So to do that, there's a function. Let's have keys. It's a variable. It will store the function pygame pygame.key.getPressed. Yeah, pygame.keys. Yeah, key.getPressed. Yes. Let's have draw after this, so we don't get any errors when we are like going through the code now. So below keys. Okay, now inside the move function, if keys, so if I press keys, yeah, so if I press pygame.key.right, the right arrow key, so pygame.kwrite, right, so if I press that, or if I press keys, wait, let's just change this. Yeah, keys. Okay, if I press keys pygame dot ka, so if I press the a arrow key, let's have a player speed over here. So speed will be s variable and it's equal to 0. Okay, so if I press that, player dot, yeah, let's have it 5. Yeah, 5. Okay, so if I press that, player dot x plus equals s. Nice. So now if I copy this and do the same for the left arrow key, yeah, so left, and over here s, I want it to decrease by the s variable. So now if I run this, are we getting an error? Because we didn't have the move again. Still mistake. I didn't have the move function inside the while true, the loop. Okay, now if you run this without any errors, yeah, it moves. It's pretty slow right now, so let's just crank up the speed to 7. I think that'll be enough. Yeah, 7 is nice. So now if we run this, yeah, we're able to move the paddle. But you see, whenever it goes over the edge, it just keeps on going. We don't want that to happen, so we'll set up a player border. So for example, if it's y coordinates, x coordinates over here, we want the player speed to be 0, so it won't move again. Okay, let's do that now. So dev player border, yeah, player border. So yeah, if player dot x is greater than or equal to 645, yeah, 645 is nice. Okay, 645, I want the player's speed to be 0, and I want the player's x value to come to player dot x come to 644 equals 644. Okay, now let's do that for the left hand side. Now if the player's x value is less than or equal to 5, again I want the speed to be 0, and I wanted the player's x value to come to 6. Yes, 6. Okay, now just add that in the loop, main game loop, and now let's just run that. Okay, so now if you see, if I go over the edge, I cannot move anymore, so that's nice. Now let's start by programming the ball, so it's the ball's movement, and then we'll add the collision between the ball and the player. Okay, we got a lot to do. Okay, so let's come up over here and have the ball's x, how much do we want the ball to move by. So ball dot x, I want it to move by 7, and ball dot y, I want it to move also by 7. Okay, I've got everything right. Yeah, now let's get down over here, and now we're programming the ball. So whenever we run the program, I want the ball's x value and to increase in all. Okay, so let's do that. Come over here. So whenever I do that, I want ball dot x plus equals ball x, and ball dot y plus equals ball y. Before running this, let's also add the border for the ball. So whenever the ball reaches the top, I don't want it to go over the screen and we cannot see it forever. So let's do that. So if ball dot top, so ball's top position, ball dot top, if ball's top position is, I think, yeah, less than or equal to 0, or ball dot bottom, ball's bottom position, so ball dot ball dot bottom is greater than or equal to 800, yeah, 800. If it's greater than or equal to 800, I want the ball's x value, so ball dot x multiply by equal to -1, so we'll go in the opposite direction. Okay, and I want, yeah, so now that's done. Also, if ball dot left is smaller than or equal to 0, or ball dot right is greater than or equal to 800. I want the ball's x position, so ball dot x multiplied by equal to -1. Yes. So now let's just do it. Wait, multiply by equal to, yeah. Now let's just run it. You see the ball bounces, so that's very nice. And I think, yeah, so until we touch it, let's keep on going there and then there, then there. So now let's add that. So whenever the ball touches the player, we want it to go in the opposite direction. Okay, let's just do that now. So we'll have to have a collide direct thing. Okay, let's come down over here. And if ball dot collide rect, if the ball collides with player, so if both of their x coordinates and our y coordinates are the same, it means they're colliding. I want the ball y to multiply equal -1, so it'll go in the opposite direction. And I want, so let's have a little, let's spice up the game a bit. So whenever the ball will touch the player, I want the player's movement to increase by a bit. So it'll get harder and harder after like every time the person plays. So it'll spice up things. So whenever the ball collides with the player, I want the parallel speed to increase by 0.8. So it'll get harder and harder to control the ball. Okay, let's just do that now. So now you see if I can, now I'm able to touch it and now it's working. But now if it goes down, it's still on doing that. So now let's just add the player score, and if player score, the restart button, and it touches the ground, we don't want the ball to move anymore, or the player. Okay, so but before that, I think we can add the restart button. Yeah, let's add the restart button. So let's come over here and let's have a player score. Yeah, player score is equal to 0. And yeah, so player score is equal to 0. Let's have the game font as well. So the game font, it's a inbuilt library in pygame. So pygame dot font, pretty fancy. Yeah, I think this one is gotta be cap. Yeah, and there's this free in-game text we can use, which is free sans bold dot ttf, I think. Yeah, dot ttf, and size 20. Okay, so now we have the game font and this. Let's add the restart button. So let's come over here and the restart button. So the restart button, well, it's equal to pygame dot display dot load image dot load. Yeah, sorry, image dot load. So loading the image that we have in our folder, which is this one. Okay, so image dot load. And what do I want to load? I want to load the restart button. So I've got to copy this carefully, which is restart button pygame dot png. Okay, so now, but if we run the program, the button will be like really small. So let's just scale up the button. So we can do that inside pygame itself, which is like really nice. Okay, let's have the restart button. Let's just call it restart B. Okay, this is the image. Restart button is the image, and restart B will get the rect for the image. So it'll be like a image. It'll transform the image scale. Okay, so pygame dot, I think, yeah, it's transform that scale. So transform dot scale. What do I want to scale? Well, I want to scale the restart button. And what dimensions do I want to be? So let's have its dimensions over here, rx. So the restart button's x position, which I think is 250. Okay, yeah, 250, and ry 150. How much do I want to scale up? That's the it's asking. So how much do I want it to be? So 250 by 150 pixels, which is in comparison not that big. So it'll be like a little button on the screen. And I'll just change this to rx and ry. Okay, now that's done. Let's go inside our while loop and program in the restart button. So let's have the restart buttons x and y coordinates over here. So let's add them, but before that we need to get the event type for mouse button down. So basically whenever I press pygame dot mouse down, then only it'll execute the code. So if inside that I will get the RA and RB's position, so event pos event.pos, and if restart button, let's make a rect for it, so dot get rect. So whenever the mouse's x and y coordinates are equal to the restart button's rect position coordinates, if they collide with each other and collide point RA and RB, then I want to execute the code. So if that happens, then only make ball dot x equal to 385 and ball dot y also equal to 385, and ball x equals 7 and ball y also equals 7. Okay, the ball x1 was 7, right? Yes, it was 7. Okay, and I think that's, and make the player's speed also 7 whenever I press the restart button. And let's come down here. We forgot to code in the what happens if the ball touches the bottom floor. So if ball dot y is greater than or equal to 750, yeah, 750 is okay, yeah, 750. Well, if it's higher than that number, I want the ball dot y equals 0, ball dot x also equals 0, and s also equals 0. Let's just run that. We don't get any errors, hopefully. Yeah, so now it's working, and for example it went over there and I cannot play with it, so I can press the restart button and it'll start again, mainly if you get fast enough to the where the ball gets, and again I can do it again, so it works. Nice. Now we can start with the player score. I think we over here at the top we added the player score and the game font, right? So now let's have the player text right below over here, right over here. Yeah. So if player text, let's have variable player text, and it's equal to game font dot render, it'll render the player score, right? Yeah, so it'll render, it's gonna be something fancy over here. So inside the parentheses we'll make an F, and then these two things, the quotation marks, and then curly brackets. Yeah, curly brackets. Inside that we'll put the player score, so we'll render the player score on the screen. And let's keep it equal to false, the rendering. And what color do I want it to have? Let's give it white. Okay, now let's blit I told you before, which is basically when you want to slap it up on the window. So win.blit player text, so I want to blit in the player text. And where do I want to keep it? I want to keep it at, I think, 385, so in the middle and kind of over the top, so 385 185. And let's come over here. So whenever yeah, I think over here, yeah, collide point over here. So if the ball dot collide rect over here, I want the players x yeah, so player score plus equal 1. Yeah, so player score plus equal 1. So it'll be rendering down over there, and whenever we press the restart button, I want the player score equal to 0. I think that's it. So now let's just run this, hopefully without any errors, and see, it renders. So that's nice, and when we touch it, it adds up again. And now if I press the restart button, it becomes 0. So cool. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I know this was a big video, but then we covered up how to make a single player Pong for lonely people. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video.